Warning. Actonville TV disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the host, authors, and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any religious affiliation.
வணக்கம், நமஸ்தே, நமஸ்காரம், சாய்ராம், ஜெய்ராம், சுவாமியே சரணம் ஐயப்பா, கோவிந்தா, கோவிந்தா, கோவிந்தா. Good afternoon, everybody. I know it's a little early to be streaming live on Actonville TV. It's for everyone. This is the Journey Show, the show about exploring Hinduism as a whole. And if you'd like to interact with us in studio today, you're welcome to do so. If you reside in the south of Johannesburg, you can come to the studio, or you could comment at the bottom of the screen, ladies and gentlemen, and interact with us right there, or hashtag your views and comments anonymously and use our WhatsApp line, which you'll find at the bottom right of your screen throughout the entire show. Alright, so as we're talking about Geeta week on the journey, and as we know, Geeta week is about the Bhagavad Gita, and because there are 18 chapters, we are doing this over the space of 18 days. So I hope you guys enjoy educating yourselves by watching the show and learning about the Bhagavad Gita chapter 11 today. Alright, for those of you who don't know, it is Geeta week on Actonville TV. Okay, and for those of you who need to know when searching later on in life, this is now episode 90, chapter 11, part 11 of Geeta week on the show called The Journey. Alright, so before we open up the show, or before we do anything in Hinduism, we must praise Lord Ganesha as we have Lakshmi Star standing by to help us open the show.
Siddhi Vinayaka Charanam Charanam உலகில் முதல் பொருளே சரணம் சரணம் மூஷிகவாகனா ஓம் கணநாதா சரணம் சரணம். நினைப்பது எல்லாம் நடப்பதில்லை, சிரிப்பு மாழுவதும் தெரியவில்லை. நினைப்பது எல்லாம் நடப்பதில்லை, சிரிப்பு மாழுவதும் தெரியவில்லை. ஓம் என்ற மந்திரத்தை ஒரு முறை சொன்னாலே நினைப்பது எல்லாம் முடித்துவிடும். ஓம் என்ற மந்திரத்தை ஒரு முறை சொன்னாலே நினைப்பது எல்லாம் முடித்துவிடும். தொழிலாளி போலே ஏழைகள் எங்கே, தர்ம வார்த்தைகள் போவது எங்கே, தொழிலாளி போலே ஏழைகள் எங்கே, தர்ம வார்த்தைகள் போவது எங்கே, பொங்கன நாதனின் உன்னிடம் வைத்தால் ஒவ்வொரு வேளையிலும் வெற்றி கிடைக்கும், நினைப்பது எல்லாம் நடப்பதில்லை, சிரிப்பும் அழுவதும் தெரியவில்லை. பிள்ளைக்கு துணையாய் தாயிருப்பாள், குற்றம் கூறி நடந்தால் காவல் இருப்பார். பிள்ளைக்கு துணையாய் தாயிருப்பாள், குற்றம் கூறி நடந்தால் காவல் இருப்பார். சித்து விநாயகன் முன்னணி வைத்தால் நமக்குள்ள அன்பு புரிந்துவிடும், நினைப்பது எல்லாம் நடப்பதில்லை, சிரிப்பும் அழுவதும் தெரியவில்லை. ஓம் என்ற மந்திரத்தை ஒரு முறை சொன்னாலே நினைப்பது எல்லாம் கொடுத்துவிடும், நினைப்பது எல்லாம் நடப்பதில்லை, சிரிப்பும் அழுவதும் தெரியவில்லை.
Jai Ganesha! Thank you so much, Lakshmi Stars, for opening up our show for us today as we praise Lord Ganesha before we start anything in Hinduism. Alright, so we've got David Naidu, all coming in through YouTube. Namaskaram, Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskaram again. Can I just say Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskaram, Sai Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Swamiye Saranamayappa. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. As we are talking about the Bhagavad Gita, Goinda, Goinda, Govinda. Welcome everyone to the show as we're educating about the Bhagavad Gita chapter 11, and we're calling it Gita.
We are on the subject of Bhagavad Gita, and as we're going along, we're summarizing the chapters. Initially, we started with chapter 1, which said the observing of the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and then we came down, chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 yesterday. The opulence of the absolute, and opulence meant the great wealth and luxuriousness. Today we go to chapter 11, which is the Vishwa Darshan Yoga, which actually means the universal form of Krishna. So, yoga holding the cosmic form of God to nurture and intensify Arjuna's devotion. Sri Krishna described his divine opulence. He said opulence as well in the previous chapter. Towards the end, he had mentioned that all beauty, glory and power is just a spark of his immeasurable splendor. Hearing this, Arjuna became curious. In this chapter, he requests the Lord to show him his Vishwarup. Vishwarup is his internalness, what's inside him, or the infinite cosmic form. Sri Krishna grants Arjuna divine vision to see its infinite form that comprises all the universes. Can you see how deep we are now getting? From the battlefield, we are going into the internal position of Krishna, what is inside him. A deluded mind cannot come out of delusion on its own. It can happen only through grace. It needs a holding hand. Arjuna says, I was drowning in the samsara. What is the samsara? Cycle of birth and death in order to reach moksha. Moksha, attainment, beatitude. I was drowning in the samsara, in this world, deluded, and you gave me a helping hand and took me out of this. I am so grateful. Your grace has saved me. You have taught me the secrets of spirituality. I cannot thank you enough. You have told me about your qualities, how you are everywhere. You are not just the body. You have explained to me in many ways that you are the eternal spirit. The more knowledge you gain, the more inquisitiveness arises in you. This is a sign of a good seeker. One is contentment. I am so thankful, grateful to you that I have come out of delusion. There is a certain contentment, yet there is the spirit of inquiry. I want to see your multiple forms. I want to see you more. I want to see your divine form. You have told me about your form, but you have not shown me your divine form. I want to see that divine form. What Arjuna says in the next verse is very interesting. He says, only if you feel that I am fit to know, then you will tell me. Show me your form if you feel that I am fit for it. If you feel that I am capable of beholding your form, only then show it to me. This indicates that spiritual knowledge has brought contentment, but has also kept the spirit of inquiry alive, and a total confidence in the teacher. The formless is now talking, and it is bridging the gap between the form and the formless. The formless is one, and forms are many hundred and thousands in number. In this dichotomy, what is dichotomy? Two different things as being opposed. So in this dichotomy of the one formless and the millions of forms, one needs a special angle or eye to see that, to perceive this and to comprehend this. Krishna says, though I am formless, I am in all the forms. My forms are not one, but many millions of them. In all shapes, in all forms, I am here. See me everywhere. This is Vishwarupa. Arjuna sees the entire creation in the body of God, of gods, with unlimited arms, faces, and stomach. It has no beginning or end and extends immeasurably in all directions. His radiance is similar to 1,000 suns blazing together in the sky. The sight dazzles Arjuna, and his hair stands on end. He witnessed the three worlds trembling with fear of God's laws and the celestial gods in shelter. He can see several sages offering praise and singing hymns exalting God. Then Arjuna sees the Kauravas, his cousins, along with their allies, rushing into the mouth of this formidable form, who look like moths rushing with great speed towards the fire to perish. Beholding this form, this universal form, Arjuna confesses that his heart and mind are unstable with fear. Although petrified by the appearance, Arjuna wants to know the identity of this breathtaking form of God, who has no resemblance to the teacher and friend, Sri Krishna. The Lord declares that in the form of time, he is the destroyer of the three worlds. He has already destroyed the Kaurava warriors, and the Pandavas' victory is certain. Therefore, Arjuna should not be fearful anymore. He should just get up and fight. Overwhelmed, Arjuna starts praising the Lord, who in his infinite form pervades the entire universe, and offers several salutations to his majestic form. He also begs for forgiveness to Sri Krishna for any offenses or acts of disrespect he might have committed in ignorance, considering him to be a mere human. Arjuna then pleads to the Lord for his grace and requests him to take a pleasing form. Sri Krishna then manifests into his four-armed form, carrying a mace, disc, conch shell, and lotus flower in each arm. Soon after, he resumed gentle and loving two-armed form of the charming Sri Krishna. It then tells Arjuna that before him, no one has ever seen God in the primeval cosmic form. Even those who study the Vedas do severe penance, charity, or fire sacrifices. They do not get this opportunity. Only with unalloyed devotion similar to Arjuna can one see God, get to know Him, and attain yoga. Chapter 11 contains more action than previous chapters. Instead of revolving primarily around the dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, it describes a scene in which Krishna transforms into a more divine manifestation and shows Arjuna some powers. What dialogue might not have communicated fully until now is escalated by the visual experience of Krishna's divine form, revealing the nature of the being to whom Arjuna is talking. Arjuna's response is a mixture of love and fear because he has moved from an intellectual to an experiential understanding of Krishna's teaching. However, even in the form of Krishna, doesn't fully encompass his unmanifest form. Although it allows Arjuna a more tangible grasp of Krishna's vastness, Krishna's unmanifest form is impossible to experience outside of actually achieving union with God. Readers should keep in mind, however, that the transformation is seen and told from the perspective of victory. Several important gods are mentioned in the poem and throughout this chapter. First, Brahma appears in this chapter in conjunction with his lotus throne, often depicted as seated in a giant lotus flower. He is one of the three gods connected to the creation, sustainment, and destruction of the universe. Brahma is the god of creation, Vishnu the god of sustainment, and Shiva is the god of destruction and rebirth. In this chapter, Arjuna calls Krishna Lord Vishnu multiple times. Because Krishna is often interpreted as an incarnation of God Vishnu, or vice versa, they are usually recognized as versions of the same deity. An example of this is thus. If you take a laddu, which is a flour, fat and sugar mixture, see it as an embodiment of Ananti's sweet. Someone says it has been blessed by the priest in the temple. The new information and understanding what it means for food to get blessed immediately invokes different attitudes towards the same subject or object. This is what is called Divya Katsu. What is this? You cannot see me, but with your present eyes, therefore, I have to give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic. Since desire of universal, non-negatable truth lives and breathes only for the sake of being aligned with Dharma, which is rightness, Bhakta, the devotee who accepts Paramareshvara, that is, highest supreme ruler, not as a means of worldly ends, but the end itself. Only possible if applying Viveka, it's a female name of wisdom and knowledge, which develops Vigram, which is meant to be for endless worldly conversations. One splits the world into likes and dislikes, results in the calm and composed personality, yet alert and active. Meaning more opportunities are captured since you're not rejecting them on the basis of likes and dislikes. It develops one's highest human traits or humility. Whatever excellence in me or others, it all belongs to the original giver, Bhagwan. I thank you.
Thank you, Dr. PK Maestri, for sharing with us your wisdom in English and telling us what the Bhagavad Gita chapter 11 is all about. We welcome Nishi Heeralal coming in on YouTube. Namaste. Namaste, Nishi. Thank you for joining the show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just to keep you well awake and energized while educating you right here on the Journey Show, please do give a round of applause for Vandana Naran from Joburg Hills as she sings Ek Baat Bole Pandari.
एक बार बोले भंडारी
Hare Hare! Welcome back, guys. That was a beautiful delivery and performance by Vandana Naran herself from Johannesburg, Winchester, and that was Ekabar Bole Bandari. I'm sure you can find her on music platforms if you want to download it. We got Nishi Heeralal coming through on YouTube. Beautiful voice, stunning bhajan. Shiva is my main man. Thank you for sharing that with us, Nishi. It's an honor and a pleasure to always have you on the show, Ms. Heeralal. And yeah, so we are talking about Geeta week, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who just joined the show and you are a little late, it's okay. We understand. It's our fault, actually. You know, I mean, we have to move with the load shedding schedules, and unfortunately, our load shedding schedule in Lenasia South tonight is from 6 p.m. until 10:30. So obviously, we're not going to go live at 11 o'clock at night. So we decided to move the show a little bit early, which I did inform you guys of yesterday towards the end of the show. We got Nishi Heeralal coming in on YouTube again saying Vandana is absolutely amazing. She's beautiful. And yes, Nishi Heeralal, as per your request, you wanted Hindi, you got Hindi from Vandana from Winchester Hills. Thank you so much. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, stay exactly where you are. When we come back, we got Shashi Gosain coming to educate you on the Actonville TV channel, The Journey Show, about the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 11.
துங்கு கரிமுகனே தூமணி ஞானவனே பொல்லாவினைகளே அகலே அருள்வாய் விநாயகனே ஞான முகனே வெள்ளை மணமும் கல்வி தருவாய். கருணை கணபதியே நீ கண்ணிமை போல் எம்மை காப்பாய். கருணை கணபதியே நீ கண்ணிமை போல் எம்மை காப்பாய். கருணை கடலே களைகள் வளரே தடைகளை நீக்கு அருள்வாய். கருணை கடலே களைகள் வளரே தடைகளை நீக்க அருள்வாய். கருணை கணபதியே நீ கண்ணிமை போல் எம்மை காப்பாய்.
Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskaram, Sai Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Swami Saranammayappa, Goinda, Goinda, Govinda. Welcome back from the commercial about the Ganesha Chaturthi. I hope everybody's ready for Ganesha time. Yeah. And then it's Pardasi. Well, it's together kind of thing. Yeah. So it's two praises and worshiping in one. It'll be awesome. Alright, coming up next, Shashi Gosain all the way in London, teaching us about the Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 11 in English. Check it out.
Namaste, I'm Shashi Gosain. So now we continue our journey through the Bhagavad Gita and we're on to Chapter 11. So in the previous chapters, Krishna ji had described the immense creation of God and had stressed that every creation belongs to God alone. And Arjuna now appreciates his teaching and recalls the panic attack he had back in chapter 1. And that was the confusion he had about his own actions, whether he was acting as a warrior or as a family member. So that was the delusion of moha. He now says that his delusion has been dispelled because of the teachings of Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna ji had told him the meaning of self or I. So when Arjuna understood this true nature as the self, the Atma, the eternal essence, he came to know that the self does not kill or be killed. He then realized that if his body had killed another, or another body had killed him, nothing was going to happen to the actual eternal essence which was in each body. Arjuna acknowledged that now he understood the secret knowledge which asserts Ishvara as the creator, the maintainer, and the dissolution of the entire universe. He is both the raw material and the intelligence behind the whole universe. Having heard the indestructible glory of Krishnaji, Arjun wanted to see the Lord Supreme Divine and how everything originated, existed, and dissolved within Ishvara. How everything was Ishvara in essence. He wants to see how all these come together as one undivided entity. Sri Krishnaji immediately agreed to show Arjuna his divine form in these thousands of colors, shapes, and forms. And he wanted to see Arjuna's reaction to it. So this chapter has been written very poetically to describe this immense power and form of Ishvara. He now shows in his form the deities and the demigods, the 12 Adityas, the 8 Vasus, 11 Rudras, 2 Ashwini Kumars, and 49 Maruts. Krishnaji realized that Arjuna could not see this cosmic form with his mortal eyes. So Krishnaji, through his divine yoga power, gave Arjuna divine vision through which he could see the entire universe in a split second without having to leave his chariot. Krishnaji showed Arjuna events that had taken millions of years in a split second, including entities that were movable and immovable. But metaphorically speaking, it is showing that our vision is so narrow-minded, we only want to see finite items. And we cannot even begin to envisage the whole entire universe which Ishvara is trying to describe to us. Krishnaji is telling us in so many descriptive words of what the whole universe is all about. Krishnaji shows his vast cosmic form with this infinite number of faces and eyes to Arjuna. He showed the cosmic form had an infinite number of heads of all the deities with divine ornaments, divine weapons, divine garlands and clothes, and divine perfumes. Just like we have millions of cells, tissues, and organs that serve one body, our body, similarly, Krishnaji said that all the deities and nature served one Ishvara. Our minds are used to cutting up things to give them shape, form, and name. But the cosmic form reverses this process to unify everything in space. Now that his vision had become clearer, Arjun could see that the earth, the sky, the oceans, plants, animals, humans were just a tiny piece of the vast universe. Arjuna felt humbled. He could see that his problems were absolutely minuscule compared to the glory of Ishvara, of the whole vast universe. He was just a tiny speck in it. And this is something we should also realize, that we are very insignificant in the whole nature of things. Arjuna says that he can see all kinds of deities, including Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva who live in the heavens, the divine sages, for example Vasishta who lives on earth, and the divine serpents, for example Vasuki who live below earth, all situated in Ishvara's cosmic form. Arjuna realizes that he's seeing worlds beyond earth and beyond the human capacity of vision. Arjuna sees that in the cosmic form, he's seeing the creation and the creator. Arjuna, being an army commander, was used to seeing these gigantic military formations. But he was totally baffled with this whole cosmic atmosphere that was coming from all sides with no beginning, middle, or end. Arjuna could not comprehend the whole experience. He could see Lord Vishnu's mace, which symbolizes spiritualism and discipline, the discus, which symbolizes destructive power of time, the conch, which symbolizes a call to action, the crown, which symbolizes Ishvara as the ultimate commander, and the blazing fire of sunlight, the light of the eternal essence. Arjuna praises Ishvara's cosmic form. He could see the relationship between Ishvara and the eternal essence. Ishvara is the foundation which creates, sustains, and dissolves this universe of names and forms. It is similar to the relationship of the waves and the ocean. It's all water, but is indivisible, eternal, infinite, and imperishable. Arjuna could see the moon and the sun, and he calls them the eyes of the cosmic form. Next, Arjuna describes Ishvara's powerful force through infinite arms, which powers the universe to perform infinite actions. Our minds are conditioned to thinking that Ishvara is in the heavens or somewhere far away and we are separated by distance. But when Arjuna sees the cosmic form, he realizes that Ishvara is space and time. The next shlokas highlight people with regard to their spiritual awareness. The first one is the ignorant, completely engrossed in the material world with no awareness of the unity of things or the presence of Ishvara in everything. The seekers, who have recognized the presence of Ishvara and are working hard to turn themselves towards a higher being. And the enlightened, who have realized the absolute. Arjuna saw all three types of people dissolving into Ishvara. But it was only the seekers who were singing praises to him because they knew that was the ultimate goal. Arjuna was delighted to see all these deities that he'd only heard about or invoked during rituals. So it was a very special moment for him. It is said that the universe split into three parts during its creation. And that was the individual, the objects, and the deity that connects the two. So if you're praying for a particular trait, we need to pray to a particular deity. For example, if we require strength, we pray to Lord Hanuman. Or if we seek knowledge, we pray to Goddess Saraswati. When we meditate, we can meditate to any deity, as long as we remember that meditation has to be taken through the deity to Ishvara. In order to show the cosmic in all its forms, Krishnaji changed his face from a kind, smiling one to a fearsome and a monstrous one. He wanted to show us the good and the bad which makes up the universe. And we have to get rid of these dualities which are in our mind to just focus on one thing and just see the whole world as it is. There's good and bad, but the dualities are only in our mind. But everything does reside in Ishvara. Arjuna now admits that he's terrified of the vast universe, especially when it's in the form of destruction. In the second chapter, Sri Krishnaji had mentioned that the one who had understood eternal essence had three qualities. And that's the holistic vision, serenity of mind, and unattached living. Arjuna, who is normally very serene, gets destabilized. And Sri Krishnaji tells him to recognize that it's Ishvara's magic behind every situation, and never to lose faith in him, but that every unfortunate circumstance is a means for our self-purification. Sri Krishna now showed Arjuna the future. He showed him the course of Mahabharata and all the characters. He sees all the sons of Dhritarashtra, Bhishma, Drona, Karna rushing into Ishvara's mouth, like a moth that is attracted to a flame, only to perish. So this is an example of Ishvara, who creates and then dissolves all beings. By showing the process of destruction at such a grand scale, Sri Krishnaji wanted to remove the fear of death from Arjuna. And Arjuna realizes there's nothing to fear. Destruction is part of the process of Ishvara, and only then creation can reoccur. There is no question of pain once we die, as the body perishes. We're not scared of the pain of death, but what scares us most is the loss of identity and the network of friends and family that we have. When we realize that death is nothing but the return of our name to Ishvara, our fear of death will diminish. Destruction is part of life. If all trees and animals don't die, new ones can't be born. And if we don't die, the world cannot sustain an infinite number of people. Arjuna asked Krishnaji, what was the point of destroying everything? And Krishnaji replied in his cosmic form that is Kala, meaning time. Time and death mean the same thing, because with time, death occurs. So Krishnaji showed him the future, the end of the war, when only a few Kshatriyas would be alive. And Arjuna realized that both the armies were fighting like any army would, but the whole intelligence and the plan was done by Sri Krishnaji, which would result in the victory for Pandavas and the destruction of the Kauravas. Sri Krishnaji encouraged Arjuna to fight with all his might, defeat the enemy, enjoy the results. Arjuna was only an instrument. Death and defeat were inevitable. At this point, Arjuna is totally disturbed. He'd seen Ishvara in a space of a few seconds in its so many forms. He'd seen the pleasant cosmic form, the fearful cosmic form, the destructive power, and the knowledge that every action was determined by Ishvara. Sri Krishna ji recognized Arjun's mental state and he gave him clear instructions. Do not worry, go and fight. I have already killed all these warriors. You are doing your duty. You kill them not because of enmity, but for performing your duty as a Karam Yogi. You are just an instrument of Ishvara. Meanwhile, Sanjay had relayed all this to King Dhritarashtra, hoping that he would end the war when he knew his sons would be killed. But Dhritarashtra was so attached to his kingdom and visualized his sons to be the rulers that he would not give up. We shall become more content when we realize that Ishvara creates events for the benefit of the entire universe. Arjuna's image of Ishvara now becomes clearer. He acknowledges that he is the creative power that created Brahma, the creator of the universe, the creator of an infinite number of forms, the creator of the magnificent universe, the pervader of the entire universe, the supreme abode where everything resides after dissolution, the Lord of the wind who sustains all living beings, Lord of death who ensures justice for everyone, Lord of fire who provides energy to all beings, Lord of water for sustenance, the moon who nourishes all plants and herbs, the supreme Brahma, the great-grandfather who brought all the deities into existence. Arjuna, who had prided himself to be a great warrior, now realizes that it was Ishvara behind all the actions he'd taken. And he just surrenders himself to Sri Krishna and bowed down to him. By now, Arjuna's mind was spinning. He was surrounded by this cosmic form and he was giving the salutations all around. Now, Sri Krishna ji and Arjun had been friends from childhood, but he never realized his divine form. In fact, sometimes he bullied him or just called him names in jest. So Arjuna then wanted to ask forgiveness from Sri Krishna ji. Arjuna addresses Krishna ji as the father of the universe. He's the ideal parent who provides physical and emotional support to their children, the greatest guru or teacher for their children, teaches the right knowledge and values. He calls him the Lord of the three worlds of the heaven, hell and earth, and in our physical state, the awake, the dream state or the deep sleep. Arjuna then totally surrenders and bows down to Ishvara. He asks for a father's forgiveness, a friend's forgiveness, and a beloved's forgiveness. So although Arjuna is overjoyed at seeing the cosmic form of Krishna ji, he becomes fearful. He begs him to return to his normal, kind, lovable form, the embodiment of peace and serenity, the form that was the object of their meditation. Sri Krishna ji replied that he only showed these forms to illustrate his power or Maya, to show the creation and destruction, to show unpleasant and pleasant things, but to show that it is all equal and we have to look at everything belonging to Ishvara. Krishna ji goes on to say that you cannot get liberation by studying the Vedas, which teaches us to lead an ethical life, performing sacrificial rituals, which is a form of renunciation, or charity, which reduces ego, or severe penance, which strengthens us mentally and physically. These are tools to lead a fruitful life and a means to purify our mind, but it has not yet received the knowledge about the eternal essence. Krishna ji tells Arjuna not to worry and assures him he's the same person, his companion who's always been with him. It's a matter of Ishvara is always with him, no matter what is going on in life. After this, Sanjay again, and he Ashtra, that Krishna ji, his normal self, the charioteer, reigns in both his. Arjuna becomes free of fear. He calls Krishna ji Jana, which is made of two words. Jana and Ardha means one who moves. So Krishna ji is referred to as one who moves people to heaven or hell, or dispenses justice according to karma. Krishna ji tells Arjuna that he's only revealed his true form to him. He reminds him only single-minded devotion will lead to Ishvara, which is a constant devotion without expecting materialistic rewards, and feel our essence united with the universe. Sri Krishna ji says that Ishvara can be attained by following 5 principles. Devote all actions to Ishvara. Focus on Ishvara as the ultimate goal. Observe single-minded devotion to Ishvara. Remain free from worldly attachments and do not harbor likes or dislikes. All traits are connected and strengthen each other, but the individual essence is part of the universal eternal essence. To recap, Arjuna appreciates the teachings and sees the Lord in everything. Sri Krishna had removed the concept of time and space in order for Arjuna to see the cosmic form. He could see the birth and destruction of fellow warriors. He could see the deities, universe and nature all at once. Well, I hope you enjoy listening to the little bit of Bhagavad Gita. I'll be bringing chapter 12 next. This is Shashi Kasai. Thank you.
Shashi Hussain, all the way in London, ladies and gentlemen, educating us in English about chapter 11 of the Bhagavad Gita. Coming up next, we have the Aarti by Vijay Ramkisun. Check him out.
Om Jai Jagdish Hare Swami Jai Jagdish Hare Bhakt Jano ke sankat Das Jano ke sankat Kshan mein dur kare Om Jai Jagdish Hare जो ध्यावे पल पावे दुख बिन से मन का स्वामी दुख बिन से मन का सुख संपत्ति घर आवे सुख संपत्ति घर आवे कष्ट मिटे तन का ओम जय जगदीश हरे मात पिता तुम मेरे शरण गहो किसकी स्वामी शरण गहो किसकी तुम बिन और न दूजा तुम बिन और न दूजा आश करो जिसकी ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम पूरन परमात्मा तुम अंतर्यामी स्वामी तुम अंतर्यामी पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर तुम सबके स्वामी ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम करुणा के सागर तुम पालन करता स्वामी तुम पालन करता मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी कृपा करो भरता ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम हो एक अगोचर सबके प्राणपति स्वामी सबके प्राणपति किसे विधि मिलूं दया मैं किस विधि मिलूं दया मैं सेवा ओम जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे भक्त जनों के संकट दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे
Vijay Ramkisuna performing for us the Aarti towards the end of the show, which was beautifully done, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who are watching the show for the first time, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already. Now we've come towards the end of the show, and as you know, at the end of every show we must teach one valuable lesson from the Tirukural. As you know, we do the 108 principles of the value system from the Tirukural, and today we're sitting at number 9.
Today's lesson from the 108 principles of the value system from the Thirukural is number 9. Do not be envious. Cultivate kindness.
For those of you who are looking for a guru to perform certain services, you can contact Guru in present for the following. He performs your Jandagam as well as your astrological readings known as your Panchagam, your Navagraha Shantis, your house prayers, your business prayers, your car prayers, your temple and hall weddings, your ceremonies like your 16 days and your 1 year, your Janda prayers, your auspicious Hawans, as well as your Kumbha Abhishekams. You can contact him via the WhatsApp line or call him after 6 p.m. on a weekday on 081 325 0115. Again, that's 081 325 0115. Well, as we're getting into the Partasi vibes in Hinduism, as you know, fasting starts officially on Sunday for Partasi. For those of you, some people are fasting this full 10 days into the Partasi, so good luck to you. God bless you. Many blessings to all of you who are already fasting. May you guys be prosperous and healthy and happy. Alright, so now everybody needs to know that, for those of you who do listen to good Bhajan music, I'm sure all of you know who Praveen Murli is. He's having a concert, ladies and gentlemen, in Actonville, Benoni, and this is happening at the Siva Samaj on the 30th of September at 3:30 in the afternoon. And if you want to query anything, you can contact Sue, Chantal on their cell phone numbers. You're welcome to do so. Remember, this is a free entry for everybody, so yeah, check it out. If you did miss any of this information and would like to see it again, you're welcome to watch the show again. You can fast forward to the end of the show as you can see the invite, and don't forget, admission's free to see Praveen Woodley and friends. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, due to the load shedding schedule in Lenasia South, we are scheduled to actually teach and educate tomorrow, same time, same place at 16:30 in the afternoon on the Journey Show on Actonville TV. It's for everyone. From myself, Kimera, Heeralal, Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskaram, Sai Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Swami Saranam Ayyappa, Goinda, Goinda, Govinda. Good night, everyone.